Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Real Steel, where we talk all things Pittsburgh Steelers, no BS, just the real steel. I'm your host, Jeff, joined as always by my co-host, Polt. And Polt, we got a pretty crappy one to talk about today. 26-7, the Steelers lost. You were there in person.
Yeah.
Might be one of the worst games we've ever seen. And Fire Tomlin chants were pretty loud at the stadium, I heard, at least from you, and I think we even heard some on TV. So why don't you take the floor here, because you were boots on the ground for this doggy doo-doo performance by the Steelers. So
I feel like that's a pretty accurate way to describe it. Yeah, it was something unlike I've really probably ever experienced as a Steelers fan. The stadium was controlled. I mean, not half, but there was probably 30% Bills fans there. And my brother-in-law, who I went with, actually made the comment, I get confused every time I hear a cheer because I think it's Steelers doing good, but it's actually just the Bills fans cheering because there wasn't much for us to cheer for. All of the Fire Tomlin chants that you've seen on the internet or you think you heard through the TV were real. Those happened. The booing of Renegade happened. It was bad. Yeah, it's just this franchise is in utter disarray, and I don't even know. I don't even know where to go from here.
yeah, I stayed off Twitter for this one, so if you've been on, you probably have some things you can pull out from the ether. But here's at least what I see in terms of your quick synopsis. 26-7 was the final score, which is weird because the entire first quarter was 0-0, and the Steelers actually scored first. We were up 7-0 at one point. We were up
Yeah.
7-3 going into halftime. We had the lead at the half, like we've said has happened many times this season, and we blow it. Certainly, we are pretty prone to blowing leads, and we prove to do exactly that.
So do you know, you probably haven't seen that then. I didn't realize this. We've lost 3 games by double digits now this season. That's the Seahawks, the Packers, and the Bills.
We are leading
All
at halftime in
three of
all
those
those.
games we were leading at halftime.
Yeah, it's so embarrassing. So that was a huge part of the story, right? Is this first half team seems to play okay. I mean, granted, we only put 7 points on the board, but you held the Buffalo Bills to a field goal,
Yeah.
and that's something to at least talk about. And you forced some turnovers as well this game. But here's what it boils down to: we had 10 first downs the entire game. We gained 166 yards. We possessed the ball for 18 minutes. We
Yeah.
talked about the time of possession battle multiple times earlier this season, and it seems like even when we've been on the winning side, we've possessed the ball sometimes for 24 minutes, 25 minutes, 26 minutes, 18 minutes. That's got to be pretty close to some definitely a season low, close to an all-time low, I would imagine. I mean, the fact that it's under a third of the game we possess this ball. Pretty bad. There is nothing, I don't think anything good to come from this game. It's going to be really, really hard for me to come up with the balls of steel.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, you want to talk time of possession, total plays, which we've also been talking about, which is kind of hand in hand with time of possession. We got outplayed 74-43. They almost doubled us up in plays. Listen to this stat. No defense has played more snaps than us, 820, and no offense has played fewer snaps than us, 667.
Wow.
We have been on the field defensively 153 more plays than we have had offensively, and somehow we're 500. It's just like there are mind-blowing stats after mind-blowing stats that are all negative towards the Steelers after this game, and it's just, yeah, it's a hard one. I'm with you. There's really not many positives to pull from here.
Yeah, so talk about the passing game. Aaron Rodgers, 10 of 21, a total of 117 yards.
Yeah.
He went out for a little bit after a sack fumble. Mason Rudolph came in 0 for 3 with Mason Rudolph, 1 interception. He did not look good at all.
No.
On the ground, 18 carries for 58 yards. Jalen Warren did have that rushing touchdown, but overall, not a good showing there. And then in the receiving room, no one had more than 3 catches, and that was DK on 5 targets for 32 yards. Darnell Washington was our leading receiver with a whopping 45 yards, and that's because one of those plays was a really big play on a 2nd and 16, I think, or something like
Yep.
that. And so he shows up in the stat sheet as your leading receiver with 45 yards. So this was just really an abysmal game from the offense. And, I don't, Aaron Rodgers, I think, looked terrible. Mason
Yeah.
Rudolph did not look any better. But I don't know if you even can blame the quarterback play. I think that the offensive play calling here, a repeat from last week, was pathetic, and just the overall idea of what we think is coaching or what the staff thinks is coaching is not working. It really, really is not working. And there's the forfeiting component of it too, right? Like this
Yeah.
comes much later in the game, but when you're down by one or two scores and you're choosing to punt it away on fourth and short, even in your own territory, it's again Mike Tomlin just selling it here. And you talked about the forfeiture stats we've had in the forfeit rate or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sure we're we're continuing to be up at the top with that.
Oh yeah, and I haven't found one for that decision, although we know that was bad. But with that play that you're talking about, or the 4th and 1 that he punted the ball, that then the Bills went on a 15 play, 83-yard drive and burned 8 minutes of clock. I mean, it was 10-7 at that point.
Yeah.
Like we were still in the game, and everybody's talking about that third down play because we ran the ball on 3rd and 9 and got to the 4th and 1, and it looked like it was actually a check to the run, and it almost worked out. But going for it, running the ball on 3rd and 9 when you're not going to go for it on fourth, it is just surrendering pretty much. I mean, it's not being aggressive, and it's not trying to win the game, and I think that's kind of what we've been dealing with this whole time. I mean, the offense was terrible. The only drive, like you said, that we moved the ball was the touchdown drive was a 6-play, 39-yard drive. Like it was because I think they fumbled the ball, and we had 39 yards to go, and we still almost didn't score. So it's just like this offense. I mean, I guess in the fourth quarter when it was already over, 10 for 57, but. I mean, yeah, this offense had nothing to show for it. Rodgers played bad. The strip sack fumble to start the third quarter, you could 100% argue was 100% his fault. I mean, he can't run around the pocket anymore. That's just not who he is. And he danced around and hoped he could do something like he did 10 years ago, and he's just not that player anymore. He's got to get the ball out of his hands, and he's got to be more aware. I'd put that all on him. And then Mason coming in that next drive, I mean, his first pass was the guy was 4 yards away, and he threw it 2 yards.
Yeah.
It's like, and then he threw like 10 yards over a 6'7" Darnell Washington. It's like you're not even close to completing these balls, and then Rodgers came back and obviously didn't do anything either. So yeah, I don't think I have anything positive to say about the offense. It was abysmal. The play calling, like you said, wasn't good, but I think the quarterback play was a lot of the issue.
Yeah, I'm very much bothered by the fact that it was pretty evident that Aaron Rodgers is still hurt. He had his
Yep.
brace on. I heard Tony Romo say something along the lines of like 3 separate fractures. Obviously, these guys are tough guys, and they take meds and they do rehab and whatever it might be. But it was pretty clear that Aaron Rodgers wasn't ready to play. And again, I'm a Mason fan, but this is not
Yeah.
saying anything to his credit. But if they would have, in my opinion, done the right thing and let Rodgers just sit and rest and whatever. You could let Mason take first team reps, all practice, and then you bring in a guy like Will Howard, who doesn't have to be your emergency quarterback. Who knows what we have with him, but we definitely want to see what we have with him at some point. We can get into that discussion, but I think there's got to be a point where, if Aaron Rodgers is sitting out and if Mason is having this type of game that Aaron Rodgers had, you put in Will Howard at one point or at some point, and you kind of see what you have, and maybe that gives you some clues to the future. So,
Yeah.
I'm just frustrated all around with ultimately how this panned out. I man, I'm gonna go here, but I think I am off the Aaron Rodgers train because I think what ultimately happened this week is. He showed us that he doesn't have what he used to have anymore. He wants to, but he doesn't. And
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers coming to the Steelers might actually be the worst thing to happen to us because if Aaron Rodgers wins us a few more games, if he wins us 7 games, 8 games, 9 games, and without him, maybe we win 4, 5, or 6, I would argue that might actually be a better outcome for this season because then you can actually take a real look at the coaching staff and you can take a real look at your coordinators and your players and figure out what ultimately needs to happen and be better prepared in the draft. So, I think it's time, man. I might be really off the Aaron Rodgers train. I kind of firmly believe right now that this is not going to be that Mike Tomlin over 500 season because we got some really tough games. We got the Ravens two times. We got the Miami Dolphins on Monday night. It's not a cakewalk. Um,
The
Browns, we may play
Browns.
close. Who knows? And the Lions. That's one of the best teams in the NFL. So yeah, that's my mini rant. But I'm off. I'm off the train.
Yeah, I mean, Rodgers played terrible, and you could definitely agree. I agree. He was hurt, and it changed our whole scheme because we couldn't get under center because he has a broken wrist. And when were we good this year? Well, our offense was good when we were getting under center and pounding the football and doing play action pass off of it. And you can't do play action pass when you're in shotgun the entire game, and it takes an entire dimension out of our playbook. The only one that actually semi works, and it became way too predictable to the Bills. The Bills were not scared of our passing game at all, so they were able to run stop us the entire game, and we weren't able to do anything. And I'm with you. If Rodgers is actually hurt, which he obviously is, I don't know why we're wasting our time with it. It's just like this is pretty damning, and I don't think it's gonna get better. Now, I do have a question on kind of what your rant was about. Are you of the opinion you would rather? If we beat the Ravens this week, we have a 63% chance to win the AFC North.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy to think about, but
Yeah,
we,
no,
we
it's true.
do have a good chance to win the AFC North. And the Ravens stink right now, too. They're just as bad as us. But would you rather us lose out all of our games and end the season, 6-11, I think is what that would be?
If we,
And
you're saying if
and
we
make
beat the Ravens and we get 7
Oh,
wins.
no, I'm saying would you rather us lose the rest of the season, not win a game the rest of the season, and potentially get some change out of that, or would you rather us try to win and win the AFC North?
Listen, as a fan, I'm
It's
gonna
hard to
root, I'm
ask.
gonna root for the team to win. I think is what it boils down to. I think what I have to tell myself is, if the outcome happens where we're not winning, then maybe there's probably three things to think about here, right?
Yeah.
There's three scenarios. The first is we win if we make playoffs, it's going to be as winners of the AFC North, and
Yep.
we might be able to do that with 8 or 9 wins. Like we could probably beat if we beat the Ravens twice, or we beat the Ravens and the Browns, and they lose a couple more. We could win the division at 8-9 or at 9 and
Yeah.
8 and make the playoffs. So that would be wild. If that happens, of course I'm going to root for this team. Of course I'm going to
Sure.
root for us to make a run in the playoffs and play like we've seen, the defense play, the offense in some of the earlier games. Absolutely. The other scenario, which I would be fully okay with, is not really winning many more games and finishing 7-10 or finishing 6-11, whatever that looks like, because then I do think the organization actually has to take a look at itself. And to
Yep.
be honest with you, I think a lot of that starts with Rooney, and I know you're in agreement there.
Oh yeah.
So who knows what would happen there? I think the worst case scenario, which is probably the most likely scenario, which is what it always is we do end up 8-9, or we do end up 9-8, and we don't make playoffs, and that's no change really happens, and we're plop 16th pick in the draft, which is no different than what we've had many years prior. So I think if I had to answer your question, I'd rather have us win a few games and fight for that playoff spot, strictly because we can win the division, right? Like that's the path. We're not going
Yeah.
to make it as a wild card team this year, at least with the way I think the other teams are shaping up, right? Because
Yeah.
you look at the AFC West, which is really strong with 3 teams. You look at the AFC South, which has a few strong teams.
Three. Yeah.
The AFC East with the Bills
Has
and the
two.
Pats.
Yep.
So it's going to be really interesting. I don't think the AFC North will have 2 playoff teams, and so might be a division winner at 9-8. And if it's the Steelers, then that's great. And take the 4 seed, and maybe something good comes out of it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to root for us, but I think there has to be this mindset shift where we almost have to consider, if you're ownership, you have to view that 9-8 missing playoffs, or that 9-8 losing in the first round of playoffs, or 8-9, the same way that you would 6-11. And
Yeah.
that's what I fear will not happen, but that's what I think needs to happen.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it does, and I think you're right. The record, at least to our ownership, matters a lot.
Yeah.
And if we keep this winning streak of being above 500, whatever, they're going to think, okay, we're still status quo. Nothing's changed. We're still doing well. And I'm with you. I mean, I didn't mean to take us off topic, but I think it's a real conversation in this fan base. I believe, like the majority of it wants to lose out because we feel the same way as you just explained, that there will be no change if we win a couple more games and fight to be 500 and fight for the playoffs. But it's getting to the point where I mean, there might not be much more we can do to change it around unless Tomlin just steps away, which there's rumors that he's the one that's being reported to be a veteran coach that's tired and a veteran coach that might be done and need a year off, and maybe we get that. But I do think it's very possible we could lose all five, because what can't we stop? We can't stop the run. And we play the Ravens, the Dolphins, the Lions, the Browns, and the Ravens again. And all four of those teams can run the ball. And that might be it. Might be possible that we just don't win a game the rest of the year. I'm with you. I would love for us to win. I'm going to root for them. But if that's what it takes to get some change around here, I think we might need it. And it kind of sucks to be in this situation, but that's where we're at.
It just begs the question, though, if we do finish 6-11, if we do finish 7-10, that doesn't automatically mean that
Nope.
change will happen either, right? So
That's the absolute worst case.
that is
If
the
we
absolute
finish
worst
that way and nothing happens, like that, I would not be able to accept.
Yeah. So what's the ideal outcome for you? Like maybe wins, losses aside. Let's assume this is not a Super Bowl team, and let's assume that we're maybe not making it past the first round of playoffs. I think
Yeah.
it's maybe we win one game. I think that's maybe 5% chance, 10% chance, but making it far or deep around the
Yeah.
playoffs, probably not going to happen. So assuming that happens, the range of outcomes from 6-11 all the way up to, 9-8 or 10-7 with that expectation, what would you want? Do you want Tomlin to go? Do you want just the coordinators to go and keep Tomlin? Do you want Art Rooney to sell the team? Like what what are you looking for?
Well, I mean, if I could have my way, I think, yeah, Art Rooney would give it to his son, Art 3, and let's get some fresh blood and somebody that actually cares about winning, because Art 2 obviously doesn't really seem to care that much, and I hate to say that, the Rooneys are a great family, but ever since I bring this up almost every week, ever since Dan died in 2017, this team has been different. We haven't won a playoff game since, and I don't think that's going to happen. But that would be step one. Step two is this is Andy Reid in Philadelphia all over again. I mean, and that's how I truly feel. I will say I was not chanting Fire Tomlin yesterday. I was not booing Renegade, but I agreed with everything that was going on. And I think it's just time. It's gone stale. He can be a great coach and a Hall of Fame level coach and still not be the right guy for the job in Pittsburgh right now. Both of those things can be true at the exact same time. And I hate the stupid he'll get hired in a day like argument why we should keep him. That's fine. He could get hired elsewhere, but in Pittsburgh he's run his course. And so ideally, yeah, I don't care whatever the record is. I think it's time to move on. We have all these ex-players. This is not something that happens in the Steelers franchise. But we have tons of ex-players coming out and saying it's time to move on.
Yeah,
A lot of players speaking poorly of Tomlin, and it's just like it's a mess, not just in the locker room, and not just the fans that can be crazy, but even in like the alumni. And when you start making everybody mad, you lose everybody, and it's just it's not worthwhile anymore. So yeah, I think it's run its course. I think this was the one that broke the camel's back. I really do.
Yeah. Well, only time will tell what happens with this team. I think this is an organization that we would never see a head coach fired midseason. So
Yeah.
we're gonna let this run its course. See what Tomlin is gonna do and is gonna cook up against the Ravens here. And who knows? I really don't even know. The only thing I do know, which I just looked up, is that Art Rooney II is 73 years old.
Yep.
I think it's time to probably hang it up.
Yep.
But I don't know if it would ever happen. That's the challenge. That's the problem.
I'm trying to see. So Art Rooney Sr. relinquished the day-to-day management to Dan Rooney in 1969. I believe he was at a very similar age, if we do some math here. He was born in 1901. So what did I say, 69? He was like 68 years old
Okay.
when he gave up the team to his son, Dan Rooney. You just said he's older than his grandfather was when he gave it up, right? So maybe it is time. Maybe he's just not able to do it. I don't know. Yeah, I'm totally with you.
So he has 4 kids. We're like really getting into it here.
Oh
Art
yeah.
Rooney II has 4 kids.
Mm-hmm.
There is no Art the Third. Is there an Art the Third?
I thought it was Art the Third.
I think his son is named Dan.
Oh,
Megan, Mary, Annie, and Dan. Dan works for the
okay.
Steelers.
Then I was wrong. Yeah,
Huh.
he already works for them.
Bring back the new Dan Rooney. That would be amazing.
I'm glad you corrected me on that because I've been saying R3 for like a week or so now.
All right. Anywho, we're getting off on a tangent. This episode's going to be a lot longer than it needs to be. We talked about how shitty the offense was. I don't think there's much to talk about the defense other than the fact that they could not stop the same damn play every single time, and the Buffalo Bills went on to set the record for the most rushing yards in Acrisure/Heinz Field on record. Most rushing yards. Did you know this?
It's worse than that. They ended up having the most rushing yards by an opponent in Pittsburgh since 1975.
Do you know what's even crazier? Is that when they announced it on TV that the Bills were taking over that record, it was pretty early in the fourth quarter, and they were like, "Oh, they just need." There was like 8 or 9 minutes left when they broke that record, and they said who was in second and third with the amount of yardage, and it was the Browns and the Jags.
I thought it was the Bills with O.J. Simpson.
I don't know. Maybe that's fourth. Who knows?
I don't
But
know.
they said the Browns and the Jags. The crazy thing to me is like, what's the most rushing yards the Steelers have ever had at Heinz Field?
Who knows?
It's pretty embarrassing if we're not up there.
I mean, but what I think is also pretty embarrassing is that they ran the same play 29 times, a same version of the play 29 times and had like 183 yards. I mean, James Cook's a really good running back. 32 for 144. Ray Davis, 9 for 62. Ray Davis, I think, had 34 yards for the season, or 44 yards coming in. He had 62 in this game. He had more yards in this one game on 9 carries than he had the entire season leading up to this. And where I was going to go with the James Cook comment is he's a good running back. I mean, we could have ran through those holes. There was 10 yards of space for these guys every time they ran it. And I do think it's kind of funny because when I was sitting there at the game, I thought, it kind of feels like they're running the ball at 5 yards a clip. It kind of feels like every single time they hand it off, they get at least 5 yards. And surely enough, 51 attempts for 249 yards, which is a 4.9 yard average. Yeah. It's pitiful. It was like the Ravens playoff game last year, kind of all over again, right? I mean, Josh Allen did not have a good game, but he didn't have to because he wasn't asked to have a good game because there was just holes everywhere for the offense for their running backs. So, yeah, man, the defense looked awful too.
Yeah, you mentioned.
Although,
go ahead.
But in the first half, they only gave up 3 points and they had two turnovers.
I know, and we're both of the camp. We can give up as many yards as we want if we're not giving up points.
Right.
Bend don't break, especially against a team like the Buffalo Bills. You know they're going to get yards against you. If you can hold them to 3 points in the first quarter, that's damn good. And I mean, granted, it wasn't a competitive game, so the Bills didn't have to do much from a scheme perspective. But at the end of the day, holding the Bills to 26 points is pretty good overall. I mean, again, things probably changed if the game's a little bit more competitive in terms of the play calling that the Bills are going to do. But nonetheless, 26 points is not bad. But the Steelers at a measly 7 points that come in the second quarter and you don't get close again is just abysmal.
Yeah, it's bad. And this run defense, so Derek Harmon was out again, our first round pick, and our run defense can't play like at all when he's not in. In the 3 games without him, there's 119 running attempts, 548 yards, which is 4.6 yards per carry, and 5 touchdowns. One guy should not be able to, make or break your entire defense. but he truly has been the difference maker. And there are some clips that are just mind blowing. That their tight ends blocking T.J. Watt and Yaya Black, and I mean, their tight ends were out playing our D line. It's just like it's kind of embarrassing, and you don't know when it becomes player, when it becomes scheme. The players had a lot to say after the game. T.J. Watt saying we never adjusted, never did this, never did that. Aaron Rodgers went after everybody. Patrick Queen's going against ex-players on Twitter. It's just like it's chaos right now, and I think scheme does have a lot to do with it. There's some stuff Braden Fehako, who used to be on the team, practice squad. He's saying there's a lot of behind the scenes issues that people at home don't understand, way beyond calls and scheme. That's just not great to
a lot of
hear.
that stuff too.
Yeah.
If you follow him, and he's an
Yep.
ex-player, and
Well, so that's who Patrick Queen was going after.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. I stayed off Twitter this week, so
Smart.
yeah, I'm not about it. You any other comments on the game? Like, what else do you want to add? I mean, special teams, I got to say, Corliss Waitman had another pretty piss poor game, I feel like.
He's so bad.
40-yard average in terms of his punting, which he's going to be punting the ball a lot with Mike Tomlin as your head coach. It sucks because Boz didn't even have a chance to really kick one for one on his extra points. So yeah, this was all around, all three phases. I think F, F, and F is probably what I would grade them.
Yep. I completely agree. I think my last comments would be it's a little bit offensive and defensive. We continued the streak of not scoring over 7 points in the first quarter, 61 straight games, which is the most ever
You think
in
we'll break
NFL
it this
history.
season?
Yeah, I mean, no. Oh, will we score more than 7? Probably not.
I don't think we will.
I don't think so. We, again, couldn't complete a downfield pass. We haven't completed a downfield pass in 36 days. We're 0 for 13 with 3 interceptions in the last 5 games on passes 20 yards or more in the air. And then through the three quarters, this is crazy too. On 43% of our plays through the first 3 quarters, we got 0 yards on 43% of them. Or lost yards. I mean, that's just like, I think we had 3 yards in the third quarter this game, and we had 13 the week before. It's just, it goes back to the Tomlin thing. What's happening at halftime that we come out so flat and so unenthusiastic and just look like we're lifeless? And yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this game.
All right, balls of steel. You got one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can't give it to the fans as a whole, but I am glad that everybody's starting to, like, it is getting vocal now. And like the booing of Renegade, I mean, that means something. The chanting Fire Tomlin at home, that means something. And I think the fans finally showing frustration. This is the first time. I mean, we did it with Canada, but this has never been this loud like this at a home game, to my knowledge. And I think the fans finally starting to speak out. I mean, they're not going to games. Like I said, it was run by the Buffalo Bills. I mean, people aren't going. People are just booing. Like, it's bad, and I think the vocalness might be the only way we can get the only way that Rooney would think about moving on from Tomlin. So the fans finally getting involved is what I'm going to give the balls of steel to.
All right, I'm going to build off that. I got an extra special one today.
Okay.
And I think you gave me an honorable mention once, but I'm going to give you the full balls here because
Wow.
You committed to this game. You knew what was going to happen. You picked the Steelers to lose.
Yeah.
And when we were texting afterwards, we kind of got over it pretty quick because we kind of knew what was going to happen. I think we, and I shouldn't say we. I mean, this is your balls of steel here. So you showed a lot of maturity. You showed a lot of, I think, what we know is going on with the team to be true. And I think you did a good job. And I'll give myself a little credit too. We did a good job of not letting this week impact us that much because, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And I think we're a little bit more eyes wide open to the reality of this season. And maybe something will change. Listen, we got a draft in Pittsburgh next year. So we know that hopefully some special things could happen there, and I think the team will and should rally around that. So, yeah, the season is what it is, but for going to the game and for handling it the way that you did, I'm gonna give you the balls, man.
I appreciate that, and it is funny because we did text. I think I texted you. I'm not even mad, and you were
Yeah,
like, me neither. And
yeah,
we just kind of moved on, and it sucked for a couple minutes, and we moved on. And you know what's even worse? I will be at the game again this week, and I bought the tickets on Saturday. And I said to my friends today, I said, I wish I didn't buy them because as of today, I would not have gone. But I already paid, so here's to another week of just pity watching football. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. It shows
true
why
fan.
we're real fans. Yeah.
Hey, if we win an away game, you're gonna be in even a better place than winning a game at home. So,
Oh, absolutely.
now the ridicule is probably going to be a little bit more as an away fan, but
It's okay.
hey, at least we're not expected to win, are we? No, we'll get there in a second. Um, Jagoff, you got anything?
I do. And I think this one's really important. I've been holding my tongue saying it. It's the overall softness of this football team. It is the softness of this. I mean, what are the Steelers built on? We're built on toughness and winning in the trenches. Man, like I said, tight ends were blocking our D tackles. We let Josh Allen break an 8-yard run like it's nothing to score. Like, just this team is soft and has no will to be tough. And I think that might be the most embarrassing part about all of this. We have lost our roots as Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's just like I thought that was evident being there at the game, and yeah, it's just like one of the things I'm most embarrassed about for this season. So our overall team softness is my jag off this week.
Okay. To be honest with you, I don't really know where I'm going. Um,
You probably weren't expecting that from me.
no. Um, and I'm probably going to give you one that you could maybe argue. No, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna round it out here. Um,
Sure,
I'm going to give it to the quarterback room.
that's fair.
Um, I'm pissed at Aaron Rodgers for playing when he's clearly not fully healthy, and I'm also pissed that Mason Rudolph sucked, and that
Sucked.
first throw he had, like you said, was terrible. And then he had the interception,
Yeah.
overthrowing a guy who's like 6'8", 6'10", whatever. Um, it was just pitiful from the quarterback room, and
Yep.
I don't really have much more to add there, but that's what it's going to be for me.
Think it's a great one. They need called out, and we're going to see what happens this week because I'm sure he's going to play again.
Yeah, this is going to be a 10-3 game probably. So buckle up, baby. That'll transition us right into a preview for this game at Baltimore. You're going the six
Yep.
and six Steelers taking on the 6-6 Baltimore Ravens. Here's an interesting note: the Steelers are 2-3 on the road. The Ravens are 3-4 at home. So neither team, I would say, has the advantage there. Baltimore's opening as a 7-point favorite, which I think is reasonable. Lamar Jackson has been out for a while, but he is somewhat healthy, playing now. Um, and we know what it's like playing against Lamar Jackson. We know what his legs can do. Derrick Henry, obviously, their star from the running back position, but he has not had the type of year that he has had in previous years. So on paper, it's a pretty typical Steelers-Ravens matchup. It's for
Yeah.
first place in the AFC North late in the season. It's probably going to be cold, probably going to be pretty low scoring, and I don't know. That's my take. What do you think?
Yeah, it has all the juice because they are tied for first place, and right now they're both above Cincinnati. Whether Cincinnati can catch them or not, that is up to anybody's opinion. But I will say, being here, being around a lot of Ravens fans, it's kind of funny because they're going through the exact same thing we are, and they want to fire Harbaugh and they want to fire their coach, and the world is collapsing just like it is for us. But we're both 6-6. We're both in first in the division, and they have not been playing well either. These are two bad football teams right now. They just lost to the Bengals pretty badly on Thanksgiving night. Struggled against the Jets at home. Struggled against the Browns. Struggled against the Vikings. They've been playing bad for a while ever since Lamar Jackson came back, and It's going to be who can play a little bit better than the other to win this game. But I do expect there to be plenty of fireworks because it's Steelers Ravens. No matter how bad the teams are, it's always a close game. I will say, like I mentioned, they are fifth in the league in rushing the ball. They average 136 yards a game. We give up 117, which still somehow 17th in the league defensively. They're good at running the ball, and they're 28th in passing the ball. They're actually worse than us throwing the football. So look for this game to be won on the ground because their run defense is actually a yard worse than ours too. So whoever can win the ground game is who's going to win this game. If last week was any indication, it doesn't look good for us. But we'll see what comes out. Other than that, points scored, they're 12th, we're 15th. They're 21st in points allowed. We're 20th in points allowed. I mean, on paper, we're very, very similar teams, except for they have a good running game, and we have nothing good statistically offensively. But other than that, it's a very even game in terms of statistics. Like you said, Lamar Jackson looks kind of injured. Derrick Henry has fumbled the ball a lot this year. We'll see. This could be a 10-3 game. I mean, it could be like a 9-6 game. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be so boring.
You got a final score prediction? You want to roll with the 10-3? What are you thinking? We need a bold
Man.
prediction too.
Well, I mean, not even a prediction that's not bold is it's the under is gonna fly under. Now I say that it's probably gonna be like a 35-30 game because I said that, but
Well, if you're going to go there, then I'm going to say maybe those are our soft predictions. If you're going the under, I'm going to take Steelers spread at 5.5 right now. I think that this is going to be a field goal type game, low scoring, close game, unless things get away from us like they always are.
Yeah.
I don't have the stat up, but I feel like a lot of the most
They're always
Ravens
one-score
games have been one-score games. So I like the Steelers to cover spread, and I like the under as well at 45, under 45.5. But I'll do a bold prediction here. I think this is going to be like a 3. If the Steelers, I think maybe we have to caveat our bold predictions now. Is like, what are our bold predictions assuming the Steelers win the game? Like what do we need to happen to win the game? But I think this could be a 3 turnover game for the Steelers. Force 3 turnovers, and that's going to get you to hopefully win this game. So let's lock that in. 3 turnovers. It's happened a few times this season. We've got 5 a couple times. We've had a few games with 2, so not fully out of the question. With Lamar not playing as well as he can, I definitely see it could happen. So.
Okay, I like that. That would that's one of the ways we could win. I think for me, I'm going to go with the same thing, and this might be a crazy prediction because of the last time we played in Baltimore. I think we're going to hold Derrick Henry under 100 yards rushing, and I think if we do that, we have a chance to win the football game. If we don't let him get going, we make Lamar beat us. Lamar can't really run the ball right now. He's a kind of a statue in the pocket at the moment. I think we can have some success stopping him. Asante Samuel played well for us last week. I think if we hold him under 100, we can win. As far as a score prediction, this is hard. I really don't have a good feel for what's going to happen. But to be honest with you, we said this about the Bills game. This game even more. Like, the sky is falling out on the Steelers right now. I mean, they were fire Tomlin chants. Renegade got booed. Everything I laid out earlier. But somehow, some way, Tomlin will get them to win this game. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be ugly. The Ravens might lose the game more than we win the game. But I am going to predict the Steelers somehow, some way pull. Do I expect, would I bet money for them to win? No, because I really don't think they will. But I think it is possible, and I'm going to go, I'm going to go 16-10.
Okay, I like it. For what it's worth, Derrick Henry has rushed for 100 yards in only 4 games this season.
Oh, so that's not very bold, but...
Well, it's bold just knowing what our run defense looked like last game.
True.
I'll give you that, and knowing what Derrick Henry can do and has done before. So, let's roll with it. As always, we just got to kind of see what happens here. I'm with you. This is a game that would be very, characteristic of the Steelers to come in and win and put us in first place, and then, next week, who do we play next week? Is that the Miami game?
Yes.
And then we lose to Miami, and Baltimore wins, and then they jump us. And,
Right.
this is the type of thing we're going to be dealing with the rest of the season. So either rip the Band-Aid off now and lose, or just kind of keep the roller coaster of misery going, and we'll see what happens. So, regardless, I hope you have fun. I hope you stay warm. I hope the Steelers
Thank
bring
you.
a W so you can talk mad shit to all the
Me
Ravens
too.
fans. That's the
Me
best
too.
part about it, especially being in Baltimore. So, let's hope it happens. I hope for the team. I hope for our sake, but I hope
Yeah.
for you too.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, we'll see. It could be a really bad Sunday or it could be a great Sunday. We'll find out.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's sign off. As always, we appreciate everyone listening, watching, following along this season, even though it's been one of doggy doo doo. But nonetheless, we appreciate it always, and we'll be back next week. So thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Peace.